everyone, and welcome back to The Girl with the Shovel. I'm Angela, and today we are going to talk about umbrella tree care, umbrella plant care, and how to keep your Schefflera alive and beautiful. So umbrella plants, also known as Schefflera, are considered to be easy to care for or beginner-friendly plants. That's because they are pretty low maintenance, but that doesn't mean that people can automatically know what they want or what they need. I found that if you don't know a few little things, that these guys don't do well at all. So if you just keep these couple of tips down, then you'll be able to keep your umbrella plant alive and have it looking fabulous. So first off, we're going to start with lighting. Now, lighting is very particular with these guys because they like bright light, but no direct sunlight. Direct sunlight can actually burn their leaves, especially when it's hot direct sunlight. Like morning sunlight in, say, an east-facing window is fine for a few hours, but when it gets hot, like in the summertime or when it's in a south-facing window, it can really do some damage to these guys. So keep it out of that direct hot sunlight and give it some good indirect light. Now these plants can also do well in low light, but I've noticed that when it's in low light, it really doesn't do anything. So it doesn't really grow, it doesn't shoot off any new growth. So if you want it in low light, it will be fine. It just won't do anything for you. Okay, but if you want to see it actually growing and doing well, then give it a little bit nicer light, like a medium to bright indirect light. Another tip that you want to make sure you get right with this plant is it does not like to move. Okay, so I had it out on the porch. I was trying it out as an indoor-outdoor plant in a shaded location outside during the summer. But every time I moved it, it would throw a little temper tantrum, okay? It would drop a bunch of leaves, it would look really sad, and then after about a few weeks, it would start shooting off new growth again that is more accustomed to the location where I moved it. So if you don't want your plant to throw a little temper tantrum, it's best to leave it in one spot and don't be constantly moving it around. Next is watering. Now this umbrella plant is actually not too picky with its watering. I haven't had too many issues with watering. Just make sure that you let the soil dry out before you water it again, okay? It doesn't like to stay wet all the time or else it will start losing leaves for overwatering. Okay, so make sure that your soil is dry when you water it again, and then other than that, just keep in mind that when it is in brighter light, it uses a lot more water. Whereas when it's in low light, it tends to not use a lot of water. So just adjust your watering depending on how much light your Schefflera gets. As for soil, you are fine with just a regular houseplant mix. Now, houseplant mixes should already have good drainage. Okay, that's what you're wanting. So if you're not using a houseplant mix or you don't have one with good drainage, you can add in some perlite or you can add in some sand to help that soil drain better, because the Schefflera, especially if you're in low light, this is especially true in low light situations, you need to have good drainage and you can't just have the soil just hold on to all that water all the time, or else you'll start to see some leaf drop because your umbrella plant will not be happy. And then for fertilizer, this also is fine. It's not very picky. That's why we say it's a beginner plant, because it's not super picky on a lot of these things. So for fertilizer, just a regular houseplant fertilizer is great. Follow the instructions on the back of your fertilizer. Follow the instructions on the back because they all come in different concentrations, and so you'll be mixing it at different rates and applying it at different rates. But just make sure that you only fertilize while it's actively growing. So try not to fertilize it during the winter time when you don't see any new growth, because then you can accidentally give it some fertilizer burn, some chemical burn there. So you don't want to do that, so just fertilize while it's actively growing. And then because it is a foliar plant and it's known for its leaves, this guy won't really flower or anything inside. So you are okay getting a fertilizer that's a little more heavy on the nitrogen to help encourage a lot of that leaf growth. Sometimes your umbrella plants can get a little bushy. I'm starting to get a little bit of tall growth here. It's really helpful if it's starting to look a little leggy, a little bushy, and you want it more compact. Go ahead and prune it. This guy is wonderful and it takes pruning very well. Just try to prune it above a node, above a leaf node, and these guys have leaf nodes all over the place. So if it's starting to look a little crazy, a little too leggy, then just start trimming it and it will give you nice, lush new growth. Another thing I've seen people do is sometimes they trim the bottom up, and so then you get these nice stems and it almost looks a little like bonsai-esque. So if that is your style, go ahead and trim up some of the lower leaves. Just, you know, some of the lower branches, go ahead and trim off, and then keep the top nice and bushy. So that would really give you a nice little tree form effect there. And then my last little tip is, because these guys have lots of small leaves and lots of foliage, it is important that you remember to wipe them every 6 months or so, just to kind of clean off the leaves. It can kind of accumulate a bit of dust and look a little dirty, but just grab some water, a damp dishcloth, or a paper towel if it's not too wet or not too dry. You don't want to scratch your leaves. So just make sure that you are actively cleaning your plant, because it can look really sad when it's just covered in dust. And it also helps it to photosynthesize better when it has nice clean leaves. So you want to make sure that you just keep it clean, keep it dusted, and it will be happy. So that is it for all of my tips and tricks on how to keep your umbrella plant alive. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up and like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Also, if you are wanting any more individual plant care help, feel free to join the Facebook group Houseplants for Plant Killers. And then also check out my blog. I've got a specific post just for umbrella plant care with all of these awesome tips and tricks there. So have a good one, guys, and I will see you in the next video.